go. Look who's back. Our fabulous friend, Alison Arngrim. Our folks love our theme song so much and the animated graphic. One person said, could you play it twice? Sure, whatever for the viewers. And you know that because you are omnipresent, Ms. Arngrim. You are all over the planet. I can't even believe that you're in one place right now just for our show.
I know. It was like, I'm bad. I'm nationwide. Except I'm worldwide. I am worldwide.
You are worldwide. You just returned from Paris, didn't you?
I did. I came back to Paris on the 31st and then turned right around, repacked my bags, and went off to Atlanta. It's so nuts. In France, I do this whole show with a guy, Patrick Lebatier, very funny. And he was an author. He wrote about Little House on the Prairie. He actually wrote the whole like Little House A to Z guide for the DVDs. Brilliant, man. So we do a whole show and it's got elements of Little House and elements of everything. And it's in French. And currently we're doing, we got another set of shows booked already for October. Nellie Oleson enflamme les années 80, which, yes, is Nellie Oleson sets fire to the 80s. Don't ask. It's French. It's complicated. You'll love it. And we'll be back in October. But then I had to go to Atlanta to go to the lovely Outfront Theater and do my show Confessions of a Prairie Bitch there. And then I got in New York. I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to New York again.
East Coast bound, right?
Yeah. I've got a bunch of stuff east because I've got, this side, in the middle of the country, I got to go to the Cherry Blossom Festival in Marshfield, Missouri. That's end of the month.
The Prairie, the Waltons. I mean, everybody's coming together, huh?
It's so crazy because it's like a historic event where they have like Grover Cleveland's grandson auctioning cherry pie because why not? And it's very historic, like relatives of presidents. There's a panel on the Titanic and a panel about Pearl Harbor. It's like everything's there. And then all these like kind of random celebrities, like, oh, sometimes we get like a lot of Waltons. Well, this year we have a ton of Little House people, ton of Waltons people, and then like Patrick Duffy from Dallas. Like, why? Yes. Why? I don't know, but he's coming. We're all going to be in one place with all these historical people and all these historians. It's like, if you're a history nerd and a TV nerd, it's like, get in the car because they have everything at this and lots of cherry pie. So I love doing it. I do it every year. And then, of course, off to New York. So it's the Mother's Day, always Mother's Day in New York, May 11th. I don't know what people want to take their mother to see Nellie Oleson. I don't know why, but so I'll be at the cutting room on Mother's Day. And I always have my cards that say, ask Alison anything. And when I go to the Q&A section, yes, people do ask absolutely anything and everything. And it's a scream. And we enjoy it enormously. So I will be in New York on May 11th. And then I just keep going. It's Nashville, Louisville, San Francisco, San Diego, because of course it is.
Do you have frequent flyer miles, I hope?
I do. I'm on Delta. I'm like, I don't know what level I am at Delta because I got like the credit card, and then I book a lot of flights on Delta because I head over that way. And but yes, I have the app for every single airline on my phone. I mean, it's a little nuts. It's a little nuts, but I like flying, and I'm good. I can sleep on a plane. I'm good at sleeping.
I don't know what shape
I do it. If I did not know how to sleep on planes and sleep in hotels and sleep on trains and buses and like standing up against a wall, I probably wouldn't be able to do this, but I can literally sleep anywhere.
Dean Butler was with us last night, your partner in crime, and you should have heard what he said about you, Alison.
Why are my ears always
Were your ears ringing? First of all, he said he absolutely loves you. He respects you. He honors you. And he said he knew early on when he saw you as Nellie Oleson that you knew exactly what you were doing. You were a true professional. You really morphed into yourself, and you just took the role and everything since and just made the most of it. And he couldn't say enough about you. And that's one of the things that I constantly hear from fans. I work in television and radio too, so even people in the industry, everybody honors, respects, and loves you. And I've seen it going to events where people are wrapped around poles and trees and parking lots just to see you. They fly in, they rearrange their weddings, their lives. It's extraordinary. One didn't want to bury the uncle until they came to see you first. Then next week they buried the uncle. I mean,
but I've been at events where people said we drove 7 hours just to meet you, shake your hand. I'm like, what? wow, okay. And I was at, well, Cherry Blossom. I was at Cherry Blossom one year, and there was a huge crowd, and a couple of friends of mine who do a lot of like autograph shows, more like, you know, chiller, you know, Comic Con things. And they had not been to Cherry Blossom. They're trying to figure out what is going on. There's a very interesting crowd. And I had a line, okay, going out the door, because it was that kind of thing. And this guy comes over to my table, and he's like, "Oh, it's you." I said, "Excuse me." He goes, "Yeah." We were all back in the corner complaining, going, "Who's this broad who's got a line going all the way out the door?" So I had to come over and see who it was. But, "Oh, it's you. Well, that's okay then," and stomped off. But people do. They love Little House. They love Little House. And they may have hated Nellie at one time. They may have despised me, but it's that sort of love-hate thing. It's like, yeah, you know, I think of the villains I watched growing up. I mean, I loved Captain Hook. I thought Shere Khan the Tiger in Jungle Book was cool. I mean, we have villains and we like watching them. We enjoy these shows. And I think because Nellie and Mrs. Olsen were kind of funny and campy, that it sort of grew on people. And I do have people who go, I hated you then, but God, I love you now. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You're so kind. You're so sweet. You know, what do I say? But people go, I hate you, I hate you. And I go, thank you, thank you. I really wanted to punch you in the face. You're too kind. Thank you. What a compliment. But that's what I was going for. I don't want them to like me. But it is amazing that 50 years, 51 years later, and people come to see us. They come to see all of us, and they come to see me, and they still want to meet us and talk to us and hang out. And it's just like, it's mind-blowing. It's overwhelming. And we all say this, if you told any of us who are doing the show that 50 years later that we would be having these events, people show it, we never would have believed it.
No, I asked Dean that same question last night. He said the same thing. There was just no thought. You guys were doing what you were doing, but no thought that, you know, the passion. I mean, it's extraordinary. It was very much so then as the show aired on NBC all those years. But it's just got this resurgence. It's always had the love, but this resurgence in recent years where people can't get enough. And you'll have people
Bigger
that
than
will come
ever.
up to all of you and they can recite lines, they remember locations. And one of the big things that Dean talked about last night, which is so true, he talked a lot also about the music, David Rose's
Yeah.
music, the score, the composition, the music underneath, transitioning from scene to scene, the theme song. The music really was very instrumental, pun intended, in the whole thing, wasn't it?
Well, I think that's why when people talk about how much they cried, yes, the thing that was happening, the script was sad and the way it was shot and the way the actors, but when that music comes in, that music, the strings and everything, you can't take it anymore. You can't possibly hold back. And David Rose had that effect on people. And of course, whenever, I mean, I enter a room and you're like, dun, 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 it's almost like Darth Vader music or something. It's like, oh, here she comes, you know.
Well, if you ever see Alison at the DMV and she's not getting service that she wants, this is usually
That could happen.
uh,
I warn people, I've never pulled the "don't you know who I am" card, but I have friends who said, can we pull it for you? And I'm like, oh, that's weird. But they're like, no, because people believe stuff. They think like you're going to be this diva. And I'm like, yeah, but you know I'm not. And they go, right. I was in line. It was a concert. We had the will call tickets, me and my friends, but it was taking a long time. There were a lot of people. And so we're waiting. And one of my friends goes, okay, they're a little slow up there. Do you want me to do it? And I'm like, oh man, should we? And he goes, look, I'm just going to go up and just like hint at the possibility. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing it, but if you want to do it. And she went all the way to the front of the line, said, I don't want to start anything, but the woman who played Nellie Oleson is back there in line and she looks like she's getting a little upset. That's all she said. And oh, the line speeded up like you wouldn't believe. I was so embarrassed. But yes, people believe it. They're like, oh no, here she comes. It's absolutely that all these years later. But Michael knew, and I'm sure Dean told you, Michael knew. Michael said, he told Dean, he told Melissa, he told everybody, they will be watching these shows long after we're all gone, after we've all died. They will still be watching episodes of Little House on the Prairie. And every time he said this to people, people kind of thought he was crazy. Everybody said, oh, well, that's very sweet of him to believe such a thing. Nobody went, yeah, he's right. They all went, no, that's not a realistic thing. Really, nobody believed him. And now here we are all sitting here going, he was right. He knew exactly what was going on. He knew exactly what people wanted. And to sit here and have to say, Michael Landon was right. We were wrong, and Michael Landon was right.
You he sure was. Absolutely. He really captured a time and an innocence that people are craving for now, aren't they, Allison? I mean, it really was so beautifully written and cast, and like we said, the music, the shots, everything. It's something that people are really craving and want to go back to in many ways. I'm sure you hear that all the time.
All the time. Well, shows like this. And the thing too is like, what do you saying? Well, it's like, the people, they always say they might forget what you tell them. They might forget this. They never forget how you made them feel. People remember how they felt watching the show. The number of people who say, I used to watch it with my mom, I used to watch it with my grandmother, and it was our special time together. And I remember my grandmother when I watch it. They go back to that time in their life and how they felt and who they watched it with. And so that's part of the bond. And they can identify. I always say, most people don't live in those big apartments we saw on Friends. Most people don't have a lot of money. Most people on Earth kind of live like the Ingalls. They live in a tiny little place with a whole lot of children, and they're not sure how they're going to make it through the week. And what if the crops fail? This is how people are living around the world. So people can identify in the 140 countries that the show airs. They can identify with Charles and Caroline, these kids, and everyone, wherever they live, has a Nellie Oleson at their school and a Mrs. Oleson at their job. They've met these people, and that's, I think, what pulls people in. They can identify. They go, I know those two. I know those two. And this is why people have this emotional connection, and they want that back. And they want shows where they can identify with people and express their emotions and feel free to cry, to laugh. And they dig that. And that now, of course, there's the new Little House on the Prairie of Netflix is arriving.
Yes, we talked a little bit about that with
Not a reboot.
Dean.
We always keep going. It's not a reboot. It's not,
Right.
don't call it a reboot.
That's what they say, and they're promoting it
They
that way.
always call it a reboot.
Everybody
It's like,
says that. Even in their promotions, there's a variety saying reboot,
like,
reboot.
that's a reboot. Because it's not like our show. It's, you have the 70s show and then you have the show.
Readaptation, yeah.
It's obviously going to be different because what they're doing is they're going back to the books. I said if this was like a Marvel or a Star Wars thing, they would call it a prequel. They're going back to the books when Laura's really little, like when they first come to Kansas. It's like that era. So, and they're going back to the original books and they're looking at characters. There may be like a lot of the characters, on our show were made up for the show. And then there's characters who are in the books, and they're going all the way back. There's characters in the books who maybe didn't make it into the show and vice versa. And it's going to be characters in the books. So the book fanatics, the history fanatics, I think are going to eat this show up. So I think it's going to be fun. We're all looking at, we're just kind of sitting here with bated breath, all of us, and so going, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Who's going to play this? Whole new unknown cast. I mean, we were all a bunch of unknowns when the Little House started. It was only Michael. So we're all kind of going, who is going to be Paul and who is going to be Laura? I'm waiting to see who they get to be the Nellie when she shows up. And I'm like, I can't wait. We're totally with the popcorn waiting to see this thing happen. And I think there's a place for it. I think you can watch our show still and you can watch their show. I think it's fine.
I asked him too, have they consulted with the original cast folks involved? He said, not really, not at this point, but he says he doesn't, he feels that eventually once that gets going, there'll be intermingling at events between the original cast, more than likely, and the new cast as well.
They're really keeping us kind of, in the loop to an unusual level. The original rights holders, the Friendly Ghost, absolutely, Melissa, me, everyone got like a courtesy call, like, okay, the press is hitting tomorrow, so you don't hear it in the street. Yes, we're really doing it. And we've been hearing about them wanting to do this for a very long time. And so we've been kind of, we've been kept in the loop, like, here's where it's going. And yet we're location scouting. Auditions are beginning now. And obviously, we don't know where this is going to go and who's going to be what, but down the road, some of those people are going to show up like that. And so they're just like keeping us in the loop. Like, here's what's going on. And we're like, okay, let us know. Like, yeah, we're all by the phone, we're available.
Consultants. Yes, absolutely. We can be consultants.
Yeah, totally
there. We talked a little bit about Catherine McGregor. She was the two of you, you really could have thought you were really mother and daughter. You just played off each other so beautifully. What was it like working with her?
Incredible. Catherine, boy, talk about, there was an original. Catherine could drive you mad one minute, and then, of course, you loved her the next. She was absolutely very kind, very sweet woman, very not Mrs. Olson, whereas Mrs. Olson kind of hated everybody. No, Catherine loved everybody. But she was very Mrs. Olson in that she was very eccentric and very opinionated. She famously would be driving to work. We had the freeway to nowhere back then. Back then in LA, everybody talks about the 118. The 118 didn't really finish yet. It didn't go so you could really get out there and just open it up. And she would drive like 89 miles an hour. She's great. She had her little sports car. So she would speed to work and she would get pulled over by the police. And yes, she would argue with them about the ticket, as Mrs. Olson would do. And she could argue with a tree stump, with a brick wall. Richard Bull, who was Nels, and she and Richard were great friends. They knew each other before the show. They were great, great friends. But they would argue about things. I heard them arguing one day, and I was like, are they rehearsing a scene? Or no, this is an actual conversation. I was like so in character. And he was always, Richard was always like the voice of reason and sanity. And he was so Nels. He was like the most like his character of anyone in the show. He was totally Nels. And she could be so Mrs. Olson when she wanted to. She could just get so crazy. And she liked to kind of like to boss people around. She liked to tell people how to act. Now, mind you, she had studied with the famous Sanford Meisner in New York, and she had done theater. And so she was very much, I know what I'm talking about. But, maybe you didn't ask, and she'd still be like, no, here's how you should be doing this scene. And she would direct to drive you out of your mind. And she would just do these crazy things, and many takes, like, the dolls, Almanza. So remember, she called him Zaldama.
Yes.
On the script, it was originally Dalzamo, and they thought that was funny. And and she goes, Zaldamo. And they're like, cut. Could you please say the line as written, ma'am, Dalzamo? Oh, yeah, okay. Zaldamo. It's like, why is she saying so? And they gave up. They finally gave up and let her have. And of course, now, years later, we're like, yeah, Zaldamo's funnier. So she was right about things. This is a woman who, I was volunteering a lot in the 80s and 90s at AIDS Project Los Angeles and working with Tuesday's Job.
You're so great with that too, giving back. I just want to mention that you are so good with that.
Well, and our Steve Tracy, who played Percival, died of AIDS in 86. So I'm doing an event, and I said, Catherine, do you want to come down for this evening? Do you want to come down? We just bring you out on stage, really briefly, say hi to everyone. They'd go bonkers. And she's like, nah, it's everything. But, you can send them a message. Yes, tell them hello from me, and I love everyone. And we're like, oh, okay. So she was older, and she didn't volunteer with any group. No. In her condominium complex, she found out that a guy down the hall was sick. And she saw that he was not getting visitors, and that the couple times she saw him leaving for the doctors, he did not look well. And she knew what was going on. And she talked to the neighbors and realized this man had AIDS, but he was completely alone. He did not have a caretaker or anything. She goes and knocks on this guy's door, who she does not know, and says, okay, I know what's going on. You're sick and not a lot of people coming over. I'm going to come over and clean your apartment and cook all your meals, and I can drive you to all your medical appointments. And he said, okay. And she did. She took care of him. She cleaned his apartment. She cooked all of his meals. She did his laundry, and she drove him to every medical appointment and everything he needed to go to, and took care of him, and was his friend and one of his only friends until his last days. Turned out he had been on Broadway, and they had so many things in common. And after he died, a couple months later, she found out about another neighbor who was sick. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Hi, my name's Catherine. I'm here to clean your apartment, do your laundry, and cook all of your meals, and drive you to all of your medical appointments. That's who she was. Just she would appear, the guardian angel, out of nowhere, and do this.
That's a beautiful soul, huh? That's
who she was. Yeah. She was marvelous. She was always going off to India. She was a member of the Vedanta. There's the Vedanta temple and meditation. She was a devotee of Vedanta. And when I was a teenager, she gave me books on meditation, its methods, the writings of Swami Vivekananda. Here, read this, kid. And it was fascinating. And it's just like, so not, you go, oh yeah, Mrs. Olson. And she's like, have you read the book by Vivekananda today? Like, what? Yeah, mind-blowing.
It's something that some people might not know, which is a badge of honor on many levels. Vanity Fair said that this fabulous talent, this wonderful person you see on the screen, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about our guest, Alison, named TV's number one BITCH
It was a
for her
beautiful
role as
issue.
Nasty Nellie Oleson. Now, the thing is that, you know who came in second? Joan Collins,
Yes.
Alexis Colby, was behind
Oh yeah.
Nellie Oleson for number one, bitch.
It was an incredible issue. They did favorites, the 50, the number one of everybody, the best, and it was best TV dads, and the Brady Bunch, the Michael Landon was a good, and then it was like best doctors, like Chad Everett from Medical Center, all your best TV doctors, best cops, best this, and all your favorite characters. It says just bitches. There's my name, and I'm number one. I was so proud. I've never been so proud. But yes, I am the number one bitch of television history, according to Vanity Fair, and I can't really argue with that. And yes, there's been a few surveys around in different countries. There was a Swiss magazine, but where they said, who is your favorite villain or who is the most unlikable character? And I have come in number one many, many times. So
That's because you're a professional. You were convincing. You did your job well.
Yeah.
Assignment and
My
task
only
complete.
awards, I don't have any Emmys. I don't have an Oscar. I don't have a Tony or Grammy. Little House, a lot of people say we were robbed. We don't have any Emmys. I have an award from the TV Land Awards, and I won for character most desperately in need of a timeout.
Right. I remember that.
It's on the mantelpiece. I'm proud of that.
It's there. She polishes it daily. That's that is fantastic. I mean,
It's true.
What I love is the stories that you share where when people meet you personally, and I've seen it in action, when people meet you personally, the 4-hour waits of people that then they're shocked that you're so sweet, so pleasant, so funny, so nice, so approachable. And the antithesis of Nellie Oleson, that character, that is quite amazing to people when they have that experience. What's that like? What's that like? Do you ever have anybody come up to you in the supermarket or wherever and think they're actually talking to Nellie, that you are the character personality still of Nellie Oleson? And then they realize you're actually smiling and, oh, we're in the line. You can go first, madam. What?
Right?
What's that like?
What do they think I'm going to do in Canada? No, you may not have an autograph. I mean, but the funniest was, it was a LA County Fair. They had a whole autograph area, and I'm sitting there, and this woman comes in, and she does not say hello. She does not say good morning. She doesn't do any of that. She doesn't ask for an autograph, and she just was like smoke coming out of her ears. I mean, she was so angry. She's red. She was like, and I'm like, oh, is this going to be like a security situation? What do we do? And she just walks up to the table, looks at me, and says, I forgive you, and walks out. Not another word.
I forgive you.
And my husband was there. He thought it was hilarious. He said, so was that just for the show, or like everything you've ever done? You just been like absolved.
She's been cleansed. She's good.
I've
She's
been
repented.
involved at the LA County Fair. I'm good to go. Right.
Oh,
yeah.
my
But
God.
that's it. She had been holding this in a long time, and she had to come down there and officially forgive me for hating me for all these years.
Oh my God. You know who's watching? They were with us last night too. Big fans of our show. Jennifer Stefan is here. Yeah, she says, hello, everyone.
All our babies, all our twins. This event we're doing up in Northern California, up there in Colombia, where we're going to be in the gold country. It's where we film so much. Remember, I always laugh about the episode where Laura runs away from home and apparently crosses 3 states and climbs a mountain to meet Ernest Borgnine. But we're all going to be there, and we have our baby Grace, our baby Carrie, and our baby Rose, and our toddler Rose. We have all the babies, and they've all grown up to be these lovely, accomplished, beautiful women, and they're just fabulous. And it's quite the group.
Michelle Stefan is here as well.
Yeah, well, you got to have both, right?
Exactly. Yeah, she's here as well, and she says hello to everybody and to you as well. And it's I have to say, and I said this to Dean yesterday, and I want to say it to you as well, Alison. You guys truly are so kind, so nice, so warm and wonderful to all of those, not just the super fans, but everybody who comes through to see you, whether they write, whether they're at the events, whether they go to your show as well, whatever it is. You guys you take the time, which I think is amazing and such a beautiful thing. I got a chance to experience that myself when you came to the East Coast, and we got a chance to, chat in person. I told Dean I wanted to go. I didn't tell you guys or tell anybody. I just wanted to see and experience what I had always heard about all the people and the response and the long lines. And I wanted to go, but I didn't want any special treatment. I didn't tell anybody. I waited in the lines with
You
everybody
poor
else.
thing.
I was
Did you get
entertaining.
water? Because I know we were handing out water at one
Actually, I
point.
did get some water. I
Did you
talked
get
to
water? Because it got so crazy. The cast was like, "We need someone to
we
go to
need
the
some water.
store
You
and get
guys were
water
like,
for the fans." Because it's
you and I was talking to people who flew in from Chicago,
uh-huh.
who drove up from Virginia, who were literally, I mean, it was they paused everything to be there to greet and see and spend time with all of you. And you guys could not have been more gracious, professional, kind, and warm. And all of you stayed till the sun was setting to make sure you said hello to every single person that went through whatever trouble to get there and to be there. And it was terrific. And then I popped up
You are.
and you were
My
just,
beautiful hotel banner behind me. Isn't that
it
gorgeous?
was fantastic. And as I mentioned, Dean as well was great. And Charlotte was great. And Wendy Lou Lee. And yes, the Stefan
There
twins.
we are. There's the
And
girls.
Mitch Vogel and everybody that was there. But truly, I just watched from the side the interaction. You guys really know how to do it, but you go the extra mile. And there was not enough. I believe that the Alison Arngrim lines, plural, were the longest of all. And people wanted to make sure they met you. And you were
Early
there.
on, the
You were
Simi
incredible.
Valley event where we had 18,000 people over 3 days. A marvelous woman was there volunteering, and the line was just getting out of control. And she came up to me and said, "Let me help with these lines. I work at Disney World." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, hey." And she did. She made little like on the ground with tape, and so she wound it around like a Disneyland or Disney World line. So they could. It was craziness. Yeah, we've had events where so many. I mean, what we're trying to do with this wonderful thing, the whole Gold Country Little House event, is pace ourselves. We're trying to set it up in a way so we're not overbooked, so there's not too many people, so that the people are there can all get in, not have to wait quite that long and get to see us all, and that we're not all, falling over at the end of the day. But you saw there, we stayed. I mean, oh man, we were really tired. We were really tired. You saw, but we didn't go. And it's like, I talk about Michael Landon a lot, and I make jokes about him in my stand-up act. But one of the things I talk about was Michael was all about the fans, and he literally said to me, he said, "That's who you work for. You don't work for me. You don't work for NBC. You work for the fans, the people who watch the show. They stop watching, the whole thing's over." And we do. The fans, we are connected to them. And with a show like Little House, I think especially so, there's a lot of really fun people who are on great shows, really nice actors who enjoy meeting the public and their fans and enjoy doing autographs. But with our show, and I think the Waltons get this a lot too, because of the emotional content and that connection, like I talked about, where like I watched my grandmother, there's a real emotional thing going on. And we think about that and we remember that and we realize that it's not just like, well, I saw them on TV and I got to collect all 12 autographs. There's more to it than that. And we respect that and we try to make it okay for everybody as much as we can.
You guys do a beautiful job, and I know it's from the heart, and I know you're overwhelmed by it all. The response is truly extraordinary. I will throw it out there, but I think that if Alison Arngrim ran for president of the United States, she would be a shoo-in. She would. She has to take a drink on that one.
I'm going to drink that one. It's very funny.
You would win. You would
For
win.
many, many years, I have had friends go, "Run." I'm like, "Let's start with me." The funny thing is when I was spending a lot of time in Sacramento, because, National Association to Protect Children, or protect.org, where I'm president of the board of directors, we did a lot of work at the state and federal level. I was in Albany, I was in Sacramento, and in Washington, D.C., changing laws to better protect children from abuse, to get more funding from the government for the police departments, the specific teams, the ICAT teams that help fight the exploitation on the internet, etc. And when I was doing a lot of this, some people said, do you want to be one of them? Do you want to run and then be an assembly person or a senator? That and I said, oh dear, no, because I'd have to have lunch with those people. I just being a politician, it's a calling. It is a certain mindset. Like being an actor is a certain mindset and a certain personality. And I met everybody, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'd want to do that all day. and so the sheer nerve and bravery that people have to run and become congresspersons and senators and assembly people, I salute you. But I will try to avoid running for any public office as long as I possibly can. But I know. But then what do you do if I get older and it comes to that and people go, no, we insist you be Congresswoman Arngrim. I guess then I'd have to. It is only sparkling water, but the very thought makes me think, is there gin? I mean,
it's the sparkle that counts. For those who might not know, I'm sure diehard fans know, but the wig on Little House on the Prairie was actually created by the same person who did Betty Davis's for Baby Jane, right?
Well, Larry Germain, our hairdresser, we had Gladys Wittencoy, and we had Whitey Snyder, Alan Whitey Snyder, our makeup man. Our makeup man was Marilyn Monroe's makeup man. Both the hairdressers talked about their work with Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Linda Darnell, and Marilyn Monroe. They worked with all of and Faye Dunaway. Gladys had been Faye Dunaway's hairdresser multiple times, saying a lot. And they worked with everybody. They worked with Joan, they worked with Betty. Larry's first job in Hollywood was, they said, Miss Davis is coming in. You have to shampoo Betty Davis's hair. First day of work in the old studio system. And she said, you have to shampoo Betty. And he was terrified because he'd heard all these things about Betty Davis. And so he's got every kind of shampoo ready. And Betty Davis just comes in and says, I'll just rinse it out in the sink with some Dreft, which is laundry detergent. And they became great friends from there on because she was completely down to earth and he just loved her. But indeed, so they go to make the wig because my hair doesn't curl. I tried curling my hair. So they get a wig, and Ziggy, seriously, Ziggy the wig maker, Ziggy Geike, wig maker to the stars, who did everybody, comes in, and he and Larry sit there and they design that wig with those curls. And it totally wound up looking like whatever happened to Baby Jane. And Larry totally he would hand me an unlit cigarette in the morning because I was 12. I don't smoke. And I would actually go, what a dump, and do my Betty Davis impersonations at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Hilarious. But yes, when we did that episode where I go down the hill in a wheelchair, all of our crew were older people, our makeup people were older people. And Melissa and I used to stay up late and watch the old movies. So we all had seen Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And we all knew that whole scene in Bunny where I'm in the chair is like a reversal. Oh, look, Betty's in the chair. Ha, ha, ha. So they were all making those jokes. So yes, we did know. For people watching at home and have seen that episode, yes, we did know the wig looked like Betty Davis, and we did think it was hilarious.
That really is incredible, too. The other thing that I think is amazing is your father, some people may not know this, was actually the manager for Liberace, Debbie Reynolds, Susan Anton, and many others, huh?
Yes, because my parents met in the theater, and my father's an actor, and he later and a producer, and he actually was on Broadway a couple times. And then when we came to California, he said, I'm going to be a manager. And he started working. He got a job with Seymour Heller and Associates. And if you're a big Liberace fan, you remember Seymour Heller, his right-hand man. And I think they made a movie about it. Dan Aykroyd played Seymour Heller, did a good job too. And my dad was Western Regional Vice President of Television Development or something. And he was assigned to Liberace, and he would take care of him in LA, and Seymour would take care of him in Vegas. So my father had like the whole publicity book of how to promote Liberace's shows. He was out of town. We actually rented a house down the street from Liberace, like in case there was I don't know what kind of emergency there would be, like a sequin fell off. I don't know. But if Liberace had some sort of emergency, my father was at the ready around the corner, could rush on over. Craziness. And so I was taken to see Liberace shows as a child. And I said, because that's, you want to take the 8-year-old to the Liberace show. And my parents said, now you have to be in your best behavior. Don't say anything because no one must know that Liberace is gay. I said, I'm sorry, I'm 8. I know he's gay. And it was just, they said, no, they don't. I said, the guy's wearing rhinestone hot pants. They may have thought his fans loved him so much. Liberace's fans loved him so much, and they did not care. They knew on some level, like, oh, he's, different. They knew. They never discussed it. Would never say that he was, but they adored him and they did not care. They didn't care. They just knew that he was their Liberace and he was bringing them this music and he was doing this show. And the critics made fun of him. Critics made fun of him and said, this is ridiculous. He sold every ticket. His shows were sold out year round. It never stopped. He was one of the most successful entertainers ever on the face of the earth. Like he knew what he was doing.
He sure did. And I tell you, like you said, the legions of fans that he had was, yeah, they're the ones that really supported him when they show things on TV, on like nostalgic channels or even on the internet. You just see the views are through the roof. It was a unique personality, and a personality is exactly what he was.
Would we have had Elton John if there had been no Liberace? I ask you. And the headlines, well, he actually, during a show, held up a newspaper, and it was towards the end of his tour, and the newspaper headline, because all the moms went to Liberace, was, don't worry, kids, mom's coming home. Liberace tour ends in 2 days. Because everybody's mother was at Liberace. It was like, he is a phrase that is in our language is from Liberace. Liberace is the one when one of the critics just said he was awful. It was terrible. They couldn't believe that people went to this. And of course, all his shows were sold out. He said, oh, when I read the review, I cried all the way to the bank. And when we say, I cried all the way to the bank, and people say this, we are quoting Liberace.
I love that. That is so funny. It makes such total sense. For those who don't know as well, I know we've talked about it, but there's always new viewers. Some of your favorite characters on Earth, gang, have been voiced by her mother. Her mother is the voice of Casper the Ghost, Gumby, Davey of Davey and Goliath, Underdog, Sweet Pauline. She even did a young Caroline Kennedy. How extraordinary.
You remember that one? If you're old enough, the first Family album, it was hugely iconic. If you're not old enough, you probably have seen the record, like at your grandparents, your parents' house. And it was like 1960s Photoshop. All the actors they're standing in the park in Central Park in New York, and they Photoshopped it with the White House in the back. But it's the people on the White House lawn. It's Vaughn Meader, who was a stand-up comedian at the time, who's famous for his JFK impersonations. And so they did a comedy album about John F. Kennedy and Jackie and little Caroline and John. And by today's standards, it's very tame. It's darling and sweet by today's standards. But it was considered shocking at the time that they were going to make fun of the president. And my mother did the voice of little Caroline and John on this album. It's the craziest, and it was a hit. It was one of the biggest hits ever. It was completely crazy. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the sales. It's that big of a seller. And it kind of made her career. And after that, it was like, yeah, come be Gumby, come be Casper, come be anybody you want now.
That's incredible. It really, really is. You talked also about the work that you've done, charitable work and work that you believe in, causes you believe in. You actually, some people might not know this, and I think it's a beautiful thing that you did. You appeared before the Senate on behalf of abuse children and protect. What was that like, appearing before the Senate? What was that?
It was pretty wild. I mean, because in DC, it was pretty good. I met some congressmen, senators, but in California, we did a couple of times. We have gotten legislation passed in California repeatedly, and we got a law passed in Albany. And anyone who lives in New York knows getting a law passed in Albany is extraordinarily difficult. It's not that they're bad people. It's that the way you have it set up, look in California, you got an assembly, you got a Senate, you got a thing, you have the two houses, but They have a thing, the houses always have to agree. If you start a bill in one house, it has to pass in the other house. But New York has a system where you like have to have the two bills both happening in the house, and they have to like neither twain can, no train can move till the other one's gone away. It's like one of those rules. It's really difficult the way they've set it up to actually write a piece of legislation and get it through. You have to have massive agreements, like timed correctly, simultaneous in both houses. And when we went in with our law to change the laws in New York State, we actually had some legislators say, you know, if you do get this passed, would you call me and tell me how you did it? Because I've got a couple bills I've been trying to get through for 10 years and I can't move them. So yeah, but we did. We succeeded. And we did. We had people calling us going, how the heck did you guys do that? So it's very difficult. But in California, I did. It was the Senate Public Safety Committee. And I have to say, unfortunately, it was very difficult. They were not a friendly audience. In our case, the law we were trying to change had to do with the abuse of children. It was actually called the incest exception. It was that if someone had attacked the neighbor's child and was eligible for, 20 years in prison, if they were related to the child in any way, and I think they even said, or living in the household like a relative could count. It's like, your house guest, you could be eligible for literally no jail time. It was very weird, and I know it made no sense, and it was in several states, but it was very severe in California. It was a real problem. A lot of people being let go. And we said, no, we want to change this so that it's an equal playing field for victims who they didn't decide who their abuser was. They wish to prosecute and they wish to go to trial. What is this here? So we said, no, we're changing this. And we did. We succeeded. We got a marvelous senator to introduce the bill, and we made it through. But initially, we had senators who liked the law. They liked it. They found it convenient for attorneys to just kind of use it, and very unpleasant, but they found it convenient. And so when we went in, we absolutely did have various committees say no, and basically tell us where we could, what lake we could jump in and where we could stick it. It was pretty rough, but we went back. We didn't stop.
Did you see those eyes pop out? It's that Nellie look that came out.
It's people like you who helped. I mean, here's what happened is we went in, and many, many things are done. Laws are often passed without the average person knowing. They're often done behind the scenes.
Right.
They always say, you don't want to see how the sausage is made. That's why they say that. But at the state and federal level, many laws are passed, and people go, when did that happen? And it's like, were you asked for your input? Oh, look, you weren't. You can look them up, though. It's always like .gov. You can actually look up every single bill that's in play and look it up and call your congressperson or your senator. People don't know this. And they certainly didn't know this in California. They did not know this law was happening. They didn't know it was on the books. They did not know we were changing it. And so when they initially said no, I called my wonderful publicist, Mr. Harlan Bowl, who you know, and he called the lovely producers at Larry King Live. And I went on the show.
You did.
And they interviewed me, and I said, guess what? Here's what's happening. And I told them, and of course then told people like you who have these venues where people can come on and talk about things and tell millions of people. I was able to tell millions of people. I said, here's what's happening. Here's who you can contact if you want to call them and tell them how you feel about it. And it was like night and day the next day. It was night and day because now their voters, their constituents all knew this was happening, which they didn't the day before. So it was very, very different when we returned to Sacramento, our team. And we were able to indeed pass this legislation. And it was the same thing in New York, and it was the same thing in all the other 7 states that we did this in. And that's how things are done. When they say, we the people, it's we are supposed to, we elect people to do things that we want them to do. And that's how it's supposed to be. And it does. You say you can't fight City Hall. You can. And it does work.
That's beautiful. Really. I tell you, you are a superstar. What is your day like when you wake up as Alison? The passion, the energy, the enthusiasm, it's extraordinary. I think the Ever Ready Bunny or the Energizer Bunny was patterned after you, Alison Arngrim. Where does this inspiration, this passion, this zest for life, the zeal that you have, the vim, the vigor, where does it, what's the source? What
I will.
balances you?
Oh,
What is it that really
what
keeps you centered, but still so vivacious and alive and spirited?
Well, I'll be 100% honest. People go, "How does she do?" I take a lot of naps. I take naps. Yeah, sometimes I do these things and I go, "That was great." I'm exhausted, and yeah, so I get up the morning if I have a lot of interviews, a lot of things going on, and I'm actually behind because I've been out of town. I have so many things I need to be doing, but um. I like, yes, there's caffeine involved. I like coffee. I also love green teas, very good for you and has some caffeine in it. I take my vitamins. I like vitamin B. I like coenzyme Q10. Apparently good for the skin. I don't know, but I take it. But I take my vitamins. I get some exercise. I absolutely consume caffeine. When I have booked too many things and I've done too many things in a day or a night or a weekend or back-to-back shows, at some point I stop and I take time and I go take a nap. I get some sleep. I go to bed early the next night. And as I said, I can sleep on planes, buses, train. I can sleep standing. I get on the plane and go, "Good night, everybody," and I'll sleep the whole time. And so I do try to catch up on my sleep. And I try to, when I have a chance to go to bed at a reasonable hour, I do it. Um, and I have a chance to take my vitamins. I try to eat relatively healthy. You have to do all these things or you're not going to be able to do it. And yes, it is, there are days where I go, "No, actually I don't have the energy." And so you're all very lucky you're getting me on one of the good days.
Yeah,
But
we always do.
I when I do have the energy and I try to pace myself, I'm looking, it's like, okay, we had cherry blossom and we're all going to Columbia and then I'm going to New York. And I'm like, and then I don't do anything for 2 days here. I visit my friends and I go to Nashville and then I go hang out with my friends in Nashville. And I block out time, like little mini vacations between all of these things. Um, and I have my husband Bob and a lot of really good friends. And I talk to my husband, my friends. You have to have a support system. You have to have people who can support you mentally and emotionally in all of
Absolutely right.
this. And you need to schedule sleep. I
Yeah, you
mean, you
do.
can burn the candle at both ends, but not
Right.
for very long.
For
You
very
have
long.
to schedule sleep. You have to eat properly. Yes, you have to eat your vegetables. You have to have vegetables and protein and lay off the junk food. And you may just need a giant Starbucks chai latte occasionally.
That is true. You know, when Dean was on last night, we were talking about his lovely wife, Catherine.
Oh,
And I
yes.
asked him, how does she feel about all of this fanfare, Little House on the Prairie, and all the attention and all the, your husband too. Is he bowled over by all of this? And what is his reaction? I'm sure he's very happy for you and everything. What's his reaction to seeing everything that's happening for and with you, Alice?
Well, yeah, it's crazy. He's used to it by now. We've been married now. Oh, good Lord. Are we coming up on year 32 here? I'm like, it's almost 32 years now. And, he is used to this and he knows. I mean, some guys, if they get married to an actress, are like, "Oh, these shows." And he's like, "No, I married an actress. I kind of knew that was going to happen." Um, and I remember he proofread my book. You have, the professional proofreaders at the publisher at HarperCollins, and they do a fine job. However, he proofread it before we sent it, and when they sent it back, he proofread it. And he said, "Can I have one more read?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he read it was the final proofread, final draft. And he said, "I found like 6 mistakes." I said, "It's supposed to be the final professionally proofread." He goes, "Yeah, but there's like," and I had to call my literary agent. And I said, "They're going to say no, but he did, he is really good at this." He did find like 6 typos. And he's like, "Let me call them." And they were like, "Okay, fine." And they had to go back and correct them. But yes, he's offered to proofread other people's books. He's amazing. So yes, he's into stuff. He writes the Nellie newsletter. Now, this man has his own career and his own job. He is at a huge construction company. He also is in a band. He plays guitar. But he also writes the Nellie newsletter, which goes out once a month. And he says, "Hey, sometimes it's late. I was working." But he puts together this newsletter, tells you everywhere I'm going to be and everywhere the cast of Little House are going to be. And it also includes a section called The Saga of Sock Monkey, which is a stream of consciousness story about secret agent Sock Monkey. And no, I can't really explain it completely because he came up with it. It's genius, and you have to get the newsletter if you want. Yeah, what it is.
I love that. It's a team effort.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing. There are times when his band was playing, I would
Yeah,
be the one sitting in the back with the box of CDs and the T-shirts for sale. I mean,
right.
absolutely. And they get the
Exactly.
band beers, and we support each other in our projects. We think that that's enormous. He says he's going to take some time. He's going to come up with me. The big one up in Tuolumne in Gold Country there in Columbia, California, the first weekend in June with the whole cast of me. Bob's like, looks like I'm taking off work and driving up. So he will sometimes come to these gigs and be absolutely support team on that.
Tell us about the book. I know a lot of folks have the book, but it's been so well received, critically acclaimed as well. And what inspired you to write it? I mean, you really share some fantastic moments in this book, a riotous evening of
Yeah.
antidotes and so much more when you read this book.
Well, they say everything but the kitchen sink. I think I
Right.
threw in everything and the kitchen sink. I did. I'd always said if I'm ever write a book, because I put it off for years, if I write a book, I'm not going to lie and I'm going to talk about everything. That's what happened. And so I talk about everything. And so that's what people said. Well, there's really, really hilariously funny parts. And then there's some parts that were really hard to read and there were ending. But, I always tell people it's okay. It has a happy ending. Everything works out at the end. It's a really happy ending. Um, but I do talk about the hard times and the difficult times, and I talk about the good stuff, and I do talk about everything. I'm glad I made the decision to go heavily into the show because people really do want the behind the scenes on Little House and what it was really like working with, like so we talked about Catherine and what was she like, and what was Richard like, what was Michael like, and I talk about that. I talk about what it was like to be with these people every day. And I talk about my childhood that was less than pleasant before the show, and then my crazy life since the show of having people hate me, but it being okay. And I jammed that all into one book. And I tried to write something that I would like to read. I read voraciously, and when I'm reading, I want to be excited. I want to be sort of on the edge of my seat. I want to read a book and say, "Now, How is this person gonna get out of that one? How are they gonna get out of that fix?" So I tried to. I said, "Well, all right, I'll write this. I'll write it the way I would like to read," and I think it came out. I think between me and the good folks at HarperCollins, I think the final product and the photos that were chosen and everything and the cover art, the whole bit, I think it's really good. And it did become a New York Times bestseller, and people are still buying it.
Absolutely right. That's something to
Can't beat
mention
the cover.
too.
Cannot beat that cover.
New York Times bestselling author. She is, gang, Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, How I Survived Nellie Oleson and Learned to Love Being Hated. You know, and we talk a lot about, of course, Little House on the Prairie, but you've done so many other things beyond Little House on the Prairie as well. And one of the things that you did was, is it Life Interrupted? That was with
Yes.
Mason Reese and Erin
Mason
Murphy. And
Reese. I was married to Mason Reese. I'm his ex-wife in this, but in the show, I'm married to Erin Murphy, Tabitha from Bewitched. I have left Mason for another woman. It's very dramatic. It was hilarious. So Mason Reese, as we know, yes, Underwood Deviled Ham, that guy. It's a bugged mud. It's a bugged mud for your mouth, and he can still do it. He's a scream. And so they said, well, he plays this like ex-child star, and it's like gone wrong. And he was previously married to me. And I've left him for the beautiful Erin Murphy. And, she is gorgeous. What can you do? And so I was played her wife. And then my mom in it is played by Dawn Wells, the beautiful Dawn Wells, who was Marianne on Gilligan's Island, our friend. She was so lovely. So she plays my mom. And then Michael Lerner from the Walthans comes in and plays Erin's mom. It's just, what a cast. Everybody's in it. Robbie Rist is in it. Everybody's in this thing. And it's very, very silly and hilarious. It's just great. And then, of course, we have Living on a Prairie. I love doing all these like web series and these new projects and these independent films that people come to me with. Living on a Prairie that Pamela Bob wrote is about a woman who is obsessed with Little House on the Prairie to the point like she can barely like have a dating relationship or get a job. She's like totally lost it. And I play her therapist. And so you can imagine what that's like. So yeah, Life Interrupted, Living on a Prairie. There's a movie coming out called Buster Brooks that I'm in that should be out next year. I do all these independent films. I did a thing, Even in Dreams. I love doing this stuff. A lot of times there's so much stuff being made out there by young, interesting, creative people who are doing web series, who are doing independent films. sometimes they'll come to me and go, I don't know, will she do it? Yes, I'll do it. Just, you know, I got to like the script and whatever. The two guys who made the movie Make the Yuletide Gay, which is like apparently sets records every Christmas being downloaded on Amazon. They had this character of the kind of obnoxious neighbor, very Mrs. Olsen. And they said, well, we kind of want, you know, like an Alison Arngrim. And then they said, well, why, instead of getting something like that, why don't we just go get that? And they got me. And I'm so pleased because it was a darling little film and people still watch it at Christmas. So yeah, people call me with these things. And if I read the script and it's funny and I like it, or it's something I've kind of a part I've never done before, it's something interesting about it. And obviously you're like, you know, you have your Screen Actors Guild paper, union, and you have the money to actually, you know, make the darn thing and, you know, pay me. And I'm getting paid. Doesn't have to be $1 million, but you're going to pay me, and you got union papers and something about that script. If I read it and I go, there's something interesting here that I'm not seeing somewhere else. You would be surprised. I might show up and say, yes, I'd like to be in your independent film.
How fantastic is that, huh, gang?
But you'll
Really
never
is.
go if you don't ask me. Call my
You'll never
agent.
know.
It's on my website. Look her up.
You can't win if you don't play. Exactly right.
I say.
You know, some of the other things too that you've done of late is that podcast too, huh? That
Yes.
must
Oh
have
my
been a
God. We had
hoot.
so much fun. So much. We now, you know what Dean's like, because you had Dean here last night. So
Yeah.
Dean Butler, me, and Pamela Bob, the one who I play her shrink, the three of us talking about the prairie. We've interviewed nearly everyone from the show. We've interviewed historians talking about Little House on the Prairie and Laura Ingalls herself. We've talked about like past episodes and broken them down like scene by scene, like, okay, what was going on there? We've done everything, and it's hysterical, and it's just still going. And when we originally started it, we thought, well, this would be fun, you know, for the 50th anniversary. We do like, 50 episodes for the 50th, ha ha ha. And we'll do like, talk about different episodes. And maybe some of the other cast members will come on. It has exploded. It's still going. We're in year 51. It's not stopping. It's now just, it's this whole house 50 plus, 50 and still more podcast. And people are still calling, oh yeah, I'm going to come on there. We have so much fun with it. We crack ourselves up. We do.
You know, what's nice too is sometimes casts don't necessarily see each other once the show wraps,
Right.
once the show
At
moves
all.
on. But you guys have had this wonderful opportunity, to the best of your ability, because you're all busy people, to stay together, to share memories, to talk about family and life. And even when there are appearances on television and elsewhere, you're still, one of the things that he had said, and others who've been on the show from the series, Charlotte and others, that it really is and continues to be a family. It really is a family between all of you. And
Mhm.
that's a beautiful thing.
It's true, and I've said this for years that so many shows, the people, once they're done filming, honestly, it's kind of like, see ya, that was nice.
Yeah,
And
done,
there are
right.
people from TV shows who've never spoken to each other since. I know that sounds terrible, but
True,
it's
right.
true.
Yeah.
Certain casts like each other. Who loves each other? The people from MASH, for some reason, all adore each other.
Yes.
Um, the Gilligan's Island people, those people were nuts. They were practically living together. The people from Gilligan's Island were so tight that it was just like, you're kidding me. Because I knew Don Wells, and I was shocked at how close the Gilligan's Island people, of all the shows, to have a cast that still spoke to each other. They loved each other. Happy Days, and they're big buddies. They get along like a house of fire. So
50th
there's some
anniversary. Yeah.
shows that
Mhm.
still do stuff, but like, okay, Cast of Friends, great show, love it. But did you not notice when they did their reunion, when they were all talking, that a couple of them said, this is so great because I actually haven't been in the same room with you people since the show ended? And it wasn't one or two.
Mhm. Same thing with the facts of life. They can't get them all together with the facts of life either.
And there are shows when they have the reunion, this is great. Because we haven't talked to each other. When did you last talk to each other? Oh, the last day of filming. And they like admit in the reunion that they're not hanging out. They haven't even like gone for lunch or been on each other's Christmas card list. I mean, something. We at Little House have always done something. We've get-togethers that aren't events. Some years after the show, we would do things like, I'll go to the racetrack. To call the cast, we're all going to the racetrack. We'd have a party and all go. We would get together, weddings and funerals. We always talk about how when someone from the show died, absolutely everyone converged. And then for some reason, I guess a lot of time was at Forest Lawn. We would all wind up at the Smokehouse restaurant in Burbank. We would all go, Smokehouse it is. And then as we started to do get-togethers with autograph shows and things, starting really kind of in the 90s, I guess, it started to kick in a little bit. We started to see each other more. We said, well, we need to get together when it's not just a funeral or not just an autograph show. And so we would plan events. And now we can't get rid of each other. It's like, you people here again, we are together constantly, and we're always doing events, and we're always texting or calling each other or interviewing each other or heading out to a new event or planning an event. It's wild. And it's crazy because I don't know very many shows. Like I said, I think I know 3. The Waltons are chummy. So what? Gilligan's Island, MASH, Happy Days of the Waltons. These are 4 shows that I know actually still speak to each other. That's 4 shows out of how many gazillion shows people don't talk to me. But we all still talk to each other. So it is very rare, very rare.
Absolutely. It's just like you said, and it's so true. It's a family that continues today. And again, you're blown away continually by the success of it all and the love and adulation through it all. Do you have, you've probably been asked this a million times, is there a favorite episode or 2 that stand out for you personally?
Oh, I'm a sucker for the, the one, Bunny, where I go down the hill in the wheelchair. I cannot resist the one. It's funny. It's who does this? That's what I say. Who does this? On what television show have you seen where someone went down a hill in a wheelchair into a pond? Nobody. Nobody does this. I got to do this. So no, it's the best episode ever. I love it. Funny. And all the hardcore Nellie fans, it's their favorite. So yeah.
The show that's coming up is really, really something special. And you are going to be bopping around all over the place, my friend.
I'm everywhere.
You Atlanta, New York, Nashville, Louisville, Kentucky, Chicago, Illinois, San Diego.
Cherry Blossom, Missouri. Missouri's end of the month. This month is April 24, 26, Missouri. Then New York. I come see you May 11th, Cutting Room. You go to Spin Cycle NYC, get tickets. Absolutely. May 11th, Cutting Room. Then it's Nashville, May 15th, Louisville, May 16th. One back to back. Nashville, Louisville. They're close together. I come home, I take a nap. The nap we talk about. And then I go to the Pasadena Comic Con. It's home. I can just drive over. It's Pasadena. It's like 15 minutes from my house. I can go over there. And that's May 24th. I'm going to go for the day to that. That will be fun. And then the biggie that Dean told you about, me, Dean, the twins, all the twins, everybody, Miss Beadle, Hester Sue, Katie Lester is coming. Everybody's going.
Wow.
And this is the Little House Cast Reunion, Columbia, California. It's the California, the State Historic Park in Gold Country. And it's June 6th through 8th. And there's a whole website, Cast Reunion Gold Country Little House. You can go there. And I got to tell you, we had VIP passes because there's a brand. They're gone. Like the 3-day VIP, they just bought them all. So we're adding things. So, but there's regular tickets and there's some 3-day passes. And there's now a wine and cheese evening on a train. It's like, let's have that because we have the train. The train that you saw in Little House. It was always the number 3. That's up there. It's one of the few really good 1800s authentic functioning steam trains. There's only a few left. And that one, it was in Back to the Future. It's in all the movies. Every time you see a train in a movie, it's practically like this train. It's like it's a number 3. I said it's the hardest working train in show business. It's in everything. And we're having a whole wine and cheese party. There's tickets to that. But go. Look this up. You'll see it on Facebook. This whole thing of the Cast Reunion in Gold Country, June 6th through 8th. Come see us. Then I'm in Chicago. Yes, Chicago Confessions. That's June 12th, the 12th. Again, this chain of clubs called Lips, a really fun place. Going to Lips. Then I'm at Lips San Diego, June 19th. I love that because we can drive down. It's San Diego. Me and the husband will take a week. It'll be fun. Then I love it. East Coast. Do you guys go to P-Town? Do you go over to Provincetown sometimes in the summer?
Yeah.
They always have stuff. It's like Women's Week, Men's Week, Bear Week. It's Bear Week. I am doing, how many shows am I going? I'm going Bear Week because bears dig Little House in the Prairie.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Yes. Plaid shirts, beards, home-cooked meals. What can you do?
Makes sense.
That Jonathan Garvey. Do we love Mr. Garvey? Yes, we do. It's Bear Week. And in P-Town, I'm doing 4 shows at the Red Room. It's the Red Room in Provincetown. It's great. 4 shows, July 10, 12, 13, and 15.
Which is the very tip of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, if you don't
Lovely.
know where that is, folks. Yeah.
So much fun.
Beautiful
It's so
area.
much fun. It's like a festival. It's like a festival the whole summer. There's just stuff going on and shows and art and everything. It's fantastic. So I'm going to be there. If you go, Spin Cycle NYC has like my whole calendar. Or as I said, we said bonnetheads.com. You'll be able to find me. So yeah, come to everything. It's going to be a screen.
Tell us about bonnetheads.com. That's a great site.
Yeah. So 100 years ago, when like nobody had a website, my friend Howie Green of Howie Green Design of Boston, old friend said, "You need a website." And I said, "Oh, I guess I do." He said, "Well, let me see what I'll throw together." And he threw this hilarious fancy, and it says the official Alison Arngrim Confessions of a Prairie Bitch Nellie Oleson website. And you know, this is long before I had written the book or had the show. Eons. He came up with the words Confessions of a Prairie Bitch. And I thought it was the funniest thing I ever heard. And so when it came time to write the book, I said, yeah, that's what we're calling it.
That's so, one of the things you did.
Bonnetheads.com.
Bonnetheads.com. And don't misspell it. It's 1 T. She and I went through that before we went on the air. 1 T, 2 N's.
It's not Bonnet. That would be Bonnet Feds. No. Okay. But yeah, come on over to the website. Get the newsletter. Sign up for the Nellie newsletter. Get that to your email once a month. It's going to be swell.
And exciting news, too, that AlisonArngrim.net, this is almost like an exclusive, is in the works, right?
If you go, I think it's being worked on like today. I think it was like live yesterday, but it's being worked on today. We're getting the last bells and whistles on there. But AlisonArngrim.net's great because it'll have like like the calendar and stuff, and that'll be fun. So I'll have 2 websites. Well, technically it'll be 3 because I have a French website.
Yeah, you do. Tell us about that.
Of course, I have a French website.
Yeah.
It's Alison in France, and that one's like Alison-Arngrim.com. And so I have a French website because I do a show there. Nellie Oleson enflamme les années 80, which is Nellie Oleson sets fire to the 80s, because of course. And it's very French and very silly and really fun. And I'm going to be back there in October doing more shows. And so I have a whole French website so you can see what I'm doing there.
What do you think is a few things that make this series so beloved, so endearing, and so enduring? All these years later, here you are, you could be just relaxing with your feet in the sand with a banana colada swinging back and forth in a hammock. And here you are running around, engaging, making people feel good. You're so respectful, which I think is a beautiful thing about you, Alison. I know I mentioned this before to you on the show, but you so honor and appreciate, envelop and respect and understand how those supporters, how those fans, how people who really have invested so much time in the series and all of you understand it, you feel it, you get it, and you give it back tenfold. It's really a beautiful thing that you do, Alison.
Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you. I mean, I like it. I have a personality for that. I have friends who are actors and they say, I just don't really like doing these events. I like the fans, but I'd love to talk about these events where, it's crowded and there's so many people. And my personality isn't wired that way. I can't do it. I said, well, then, don't, send a card. Well, we'll tell them you said hi. But some people are wired for that. And I am wired to talk to people. And so I don't mind it. And they seem to like it. And I like having that connection. I mean, even when I do my shows in France and here, I will sometimes play much smaller venues because then I can get all of them in the autograph line after, and I can see them. You play like a huge theater with thousands of people. You can't see people, and I like the direct contact with my audience.
We wanted to hold that smile.
I'm smirking away here.
You have the best eyes in the business. They're so expressive.
Thank you.
They're so incredibly expressive.
Now we've been going for an hour and I need to get a move on.
Yes, you do. Is the stagecoach waiting for you outside?
My stagecoach. they're revving the horses.
And the Betty Davis wig. And I mean, You are always a blast, always a hoot, and
Thank you.
always just a fabulous and delightful person to chat with, Alison Arngrim. I'm so excited that you have so much going on and that you're embracing it all and relishing it all in every which way you can. And people really honor and respect you for that. And there's so much coming up. So, folks, go to bonnetheads.com
Yep.
and AlisonArngrim.net. Check all that out. She is touring the country. She is coming to the East Coast to New York. We've been
To a
showing
theater
that as
near
well.
you.
To a theater near you. And truly, you are one of the treasures, my friend, not only of American television and entertainment, just as people. And I said last time we would keep the porch light on for you. It's been on for you. It'll continue to stay on
Good,
for
good. Thank
you.
you.
And we love having you here. And I hope you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have
did.
once again with you, Alison.
Thank you so much.
You be well, okay?
I will. I will take my naps and take my vitamins and eat my vegetables.
She's going to go as soon as we wrap.
Actually, tonight is Caesar salad night.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Artichoke hearts. Oh, yeah.
Alison, take care. We love you. And
Love you.
all of the viewers that have been commenting as well, they have just been sharing so many incredible things. And we love what they've been saying. There is one particular person before we head out that really wanted to say something. And his father was in The Wire. This is Leo Trufrost. He says, Jim, can you tell Alison this? Hi, Alison. This is Leo Trufrost. I have been watching Little House on the Prairie since I was 5. And then I finished the last episode yesterday. You are a great actor. I know he'll get a kick out of that.
Thank you, Leo. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
Vicky is still watching you as well. Kathleen loves it. She's in New York City. All of you were incredible. Just so many people that are saying such beautiful things here. And we thank all of them. We'll show some of those after as well. But thanks again, my friend. A pleasure as always. Go enjoy that Caesar salad. You earned it. You sang for your supper.
I tell you, I'll see you on the 11th over at the cutting room.
Cutting Room, NYC.
Yes.
Thanks for your generosity of time. You're always so great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See you soon. All right.
Bye-bye now. The incomparable Alison Arngrim is here on the show. And let's take a look at some of the great comments here. We've had so many. Vicky had said, hi, Alison, really liked Little House, still watching. Yeah, let's take a look at some more. Jennifer Stefan, of course, who young baby Rose with her sister, Michelle. The show, of course, will live on for more generations. Kathleen says the whole Little House cast was incredible. Yes, they were. And Curly is here. Curly says, hey, Alison and Jim. Hello, Curly. Good to see you as well. You're showing some of our faithful viewers. And you have Little House on the Prairie on DVDs. You loved one of the stories that she shared. Barbara Katz watching as well. And Maureen says the award that she received from TV Land, perfect for you, Nellie. And Barbara Katz says the Little House cast was a blast. And the cruise, too. You went on the cruise. That was a blast as well. Merlin in Canada says, Alison, you sure are a comedian. Love you. She really, really is. And you love the Starbucks drink, Maureen, that she talked about. And let's take a look at some more. You also said she cracks you up. You're so funny. Enjoying the show. My pleasure. Hi to Jane in Sweden as well. Some viewer comments that are coming in here. And Maureen loved that Alison was back in Lovely Hall. You're absolutely amazing. Such a beautiful human. Best of luck with everything you have on your busy schedule. Enjoy the haters because we love you. Jane says the book is fantastic. Yeah, it really is. And you enjoyed the conversation. You're such a bundle of energy. Sleep well. I don't think she sleeps, gang. I think our Alison is just filled with so much love for life and people. And she's one of those people that was put on this planet to make everybody feel good and to laugh and feel good about themselves. And she's terrific. She's a true professional too. She's a real pro at what she does and has always done. She knows how to do it. She knows how to get it done. and to do it with some, as I said, vim and vigor. Kathleen, thank you very much. It was good to see you as well. And everybody watching all around the world, a real pleasure to see all these great happy faces and some nice comments coming in here. Anna Gill is here as well. Vicky says hello, and Sue says hello as well. And I think Sherry was in there. And you will always go to visit as long as they're close by, you know, the gang from Little House on the Prairie. Stefan's Twins Family streaming on our living room TV. So you're watching the Jim Masters show. Michelle and Jennifer, they are wonderful. And they played a young baby Rose on Little House on the Prairie. And I got a chance to actually chat with them recently at one of the great events. And they are spectacular people, really loving people, and great supporters, friends of our show. We've become friends, and they're amazing. And you'll see them at some of these great events as well. Same thing with Wendy Lou Lee, of course. Baby Grace, young baby Grace. She is wonderful. She was on the show. And what can we say? You know, they've all, matter of fact, Jennifer and Michelle were guests here on the Jim Masters show. So you can go back in the archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and check out the episode. We had a wonderful episode with the two of them. Also, Wendy Lou Lee was a guest here on the show as well. Check that out. She was wonderful. Charlotte Stewart has been with us several times. She is a delight. She is amazing. We saw her at one of the events recently, and we spotted each other from across the room, parted seas, and we both wanted a big hug, and it was so good. This was almost right after she was a guest on the second time she was here on the Jim Masters show. And it was wonderful. Dean Butler, of course, who was with us last night. If you didn't see that episode, Dean was with us last night. We had an opportunity to chat with him as well, and so many other great folks. So had an opportunity also to meet Mitch Vogel. He was fantastic. Wonderful photo by James Franklin here of Alison. Isn't that a wonderful photo of her? Yeah, she's really a treasure. A television star, film, stage, events, everything, truly. And the then and now. Nellie Oleson was in the house. I know many of you were saying, oh my God, Nellie Oleson, is that Nellie Oleson? Absolutely. Wonderful stories that she shared of her time on the show and with the amazing cast from Little House on the Prairie as well. Obviously, that series has really left an indelible mark on the lives of so many people. And younger generations are discovering it for the first time as well as it airs on various TV stations and streaming and elsewhere. There's a cool shot too of Alison. That's a great one. And of course, it's well past the 50 now, but they're continuing, 50, 51 plus years of Little House on the Prairie. Really an extraordinary, epic series for many years. And we talked about, Karen Grassley was also a guest on our show as well, too, who played Ma Ingalls on the series. Check that out. I think you'll love that. Couple of things here. There is her book, Confessions of a Prairie Bitch, Alison Arngrim. Some great behind the scenes conversation about how the book was put together, her love of the cover, and just how it all came together. As I mentioned, she's going to be in Nashville and San Diego and Chicago and all these great cities. She's coming to the East Coast to New York as well in May at the famous Cutting Room. And it is her show, which plays off the book, but then there's a lot of comedy, a lot of off-the-cuff humor, talking about child stars of the day and so much more. If this was your first time actually seeing Alison away from being Nellie Oleson, maybe this is the first time you're watching our show or the first time you saw Alison away from that character, she's amazing. She really, really is. And it's always a delight to have her here. And there, they've all stayed in touch. There she is with Dean Butler. Dean said last night, it is like one big happy family, the gang from Little House on the Prairie. And like she said as well, a lot of cast don't stay together. They don't communicate beyond. And yet this cast does stay together as much as possible. And they share the memories with everybody and they share the love. Wonderful stories she told about the incomparable actress Catherine McGregor, who played Mrs. Oleson, her mother, on the series, which was amazing too. Yep, they get together, they have a wonderful time, and they share the love with the dedicated fans. And again, I had an opportunity to chat with her in person recently at one of the events, and she couldn't have been more. As I mentioned, I wanted to mention it to her directly, because sometimes when they're doing all the work of running around and visiting everybody, they don't always hear, thanks for what they do. So I just wanted to, as somebody who's also in the business, in the industry, I wanted to personally thank her for, and all of them, for the love that they show everybody. And if you're a super fan of Little House on the Prairie, or casual fan, or you've just been with it, or just discovered the show for the first time, you soon realize how amazing they are. They all also have independent careers separate from Little House on the Prairie. They've moved on to many other things that they've done in their lives, but the fact that they come back again and again and again to respond and celebrate with all of you what the series meant. All the different guests we've had from Little House on the Prairie have definitely shared that with us, and it's really, truly amazing. So this was cool. This was a lot of fun, folks. And if you loved it, we love putting the show together for and with all of you. Give this episode a like on our YouTube channel. Thumbs up like. There's a thumbs up icon. Give it a like. Share this on your social media. Share the link from the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, where there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. Some of your favorite guests, special guests from television, film, Broadway, Hollywood, child stars, chefs, sports stars, comedians, psychics. This is an entertainment lifestyle celebrity talk show where we do it all and celebrate it all right here in a conversational style for all of you. So thanks for all the great comments, everybody. This was really amazing, and I appreciate all this. And thumbs up from Curly. He loved it. Barbara as well, and Kathleen and Maureen and Jane. Good stuff, and many more. If you commented here in the chat room, be sure and also leave a comment below in the comments section. We would love to hear from you. What did you enjoy about this episode? What do you love about the series, our series, the Jim Masters Show series, and also the good folks at Little House on the Prairie? All right. She's having her Caesar salad. We already had dinner here, so we're good. Maybe we'll have a snack now. We thank once again the incomparable Alison Arngrim for joining us here on JMS, the Jim Masters Show. She truly is a delight, and we love having her here. And she's a hoot, right? She can tell a story. I love that. I'm a conversationalist myself, and I love having good conversations, and she's somebody great to have one with. So we thank her, and we thank all of you. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, inviting you to come see us again right here at JMS, the Jim Masters Show. Spread the word about our show. Don't forget to love one another and take care of one another. We encourage you to do that and do the very same for yourself. We say that all the time here at Levity Hall, as we call it, which is love and levity together. And we love putting these shows on together for all of you. If you missed Dean Butler last night, check that out. Alison, this is her third time here on the show, so you can see her previous episodes. Some of the other episodes, we talked about Little House on the Prairie in different ways and other specific things. So each time that they're on, this was Dean's second appearance as well. Each time that they're with us, or any of our guests are with us, we don't always want to repeat just the same old stuff. So we want to go into different directions, and you learn more about the guests and about me, your host, and about probably yourself as well, which is very, very cool. So we love having you here. We really appreciate all the love, all the support, all the adulation, the comments, the posts. You can find us on Facebook and X and Instagram at Jim Masters TV. Share it and spread the word about our amazing, unique celebrity entertainment talk show series, the Jim Masters Show. We're going to keep the porch light on for you as well. You are welcome here. This is our prairie called Levity Hall. at any time, and binge watch the past episodes. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you're watching around the world. I hope life is okay for you. This is sort of a respite, like Little House on the Prairie has been all these years. JMS, the Jim Masters Show, we want to be a respite for all of you to come and have a good time. Sit back, relax, interact with us, and have a really good time. Remember, if it's a nostalgic type of episode like this is, talking to Alison and Little House on the Prairie, we want you to feel good about that. But no matter what the show is, what the episode is, who the guest is, or sometimes it's maybe a show where I'm just chatting with the viewers, we want you to feel good. We want you to know that we really value you. You mean something. It's important that you're here. We respect and honor you greatly. And we just love, and I doing this kind of work professionally for a living, just absolutely love coming into your homes, your living rooms, on your phones, your tablets, your big TVs, although don't make it too big. Wherever you watch our series, we like to have a lot of fun. Sometimes we have some deep conversations, some really meaningful, emotional conversations, lots of levity, lots of unpredictability. Everything is free flowing. These questions are not scripted. You don't see me reading scripts. This is authenticity to the max, bringing back the Lost Art of Conversation with our amazing celebrity friends and special guests. And we hope you're enjoying it. A lot of work behind the scenes to put it together, but worth it knowing you're all here. Some of you are here every single day. The show is on live and whatnot. And we thank you for that. And if you're new to our show, you're part of the family now, the JMS family, and we welcome you. It means a lot that you are here. It's extraordinary. We were talking to Alison and to Dean last night about how they feel about the response that they get for the characters they've played, the beloved characters in Little House on the Prairie, and in other things they've done, with lines of people that go to their events, which is truly extraordinary. I can tap into that, working many years on television and radio, nationally and regionally, locally as well. And when you have somebody that does stop you in the supermarket, or that sends you a letter, or posts something on social media about how much whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying touches them, means something to them at whatever level it is, just some way while you were doing what you love, you touched somebody's life, their heart, you inspired them, maybe you changed their life in some way. The impact of that does not go unnoticed and is duly noted and very appreciated. And over my many years in TV and radio, I've heard a lot of that myself, and it really means the world. So, you have people like Alison, like Dean, and all who do this kind of stuff for a living, and it's a job and they get paid, but they truly understand what it's all about. And I always have as well. So know that we're doing all this work and all these shows, busting our fannies doing it for all of you, because we love doing the work, but we love the interaction and the response. And this series here has grown exponentially in all these years. I can't believe half a decade now, almost, we've been here with hundreds and hundreds of guests and shows and episodes, and so much fun. And there have been some guests that passed away. If you didn't see the episode where we honored Jane North, Dennis the Menace, and Elaine Ballas, I forgot to ask Alison, but Alison knew Elaine Ballas, being there in Hollywood. Elaine, wonderful actress. You may remember she was a guest on our show multiple times. She was a dear friend, and she passed last week of cancer. And we've been remembering her. And I knew about her illness last year when she told me. It was very quiet. The world didn't know. And Rodney Allen Rippey really took care of her, child actor, and so much more. He was with us. If you didn't see that episode with where we really took time to pay heed and remember Jane North, Dennis the Menace, and Alison, or Elaine Ballas, that is, it was a beautiful episode. And Kathy Garver was with us as well, and she got emotional. And John Provost, who played Timmy on Lassie was with us. Rodney Allen Rippey was with us. Jeffrey Mark was with us. And Jeannie Russell, who played Margaret on Dennis the Menace, as rare as it is, she doesn't do a lot of interviews. She was with us as well, talking about Jay North. And it was really just absolutely a beautiful conversation. And we thoroughly enjoyed it, and other guests with us as well. So that's what we do here, gang, and love doing it for all of you, and appreciate all the comments and support and subscribing and everything else that you do. Anybody that's having an anniversary, a birthday, happy this, that, and the other thing from us here at the Jim Masters Show. I know some of our viewers have had birthdays recently. So, we wish you always the best. I know life out there is a little crazy about now. Very, very crazy. So we wish you well, and always come back and see us. Like Kathleen in New York City says, and yesterday was her birthday. Matter of fact, yesterday on the show, and you only get this kind of thing on the Jim Masters Show, Dean Butler, Almanzo James Wilder from Little House on the Prairie, and this James, Jim Masters, sang happy birthday to Kathleen on her birthday. How cool was that, right? Yeah, only here at the Jim Masters Show. Maureen says Lovely Hall, she's watching in Arizona, is the place to be. Thank you so much, Jim, for creating this and continuing to bring us the very best guests. You're amazing. We appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate those beautiful words. Barbara Katz, thank you. XOXO to you as well. Curly, thank you as well. Great show. And thumbs up again. I love that. All right, gang. Once again, Alison was here. Dean was here recently. And so many other amazing guests. Again, here is that tribute that we did celebrating 2 Hollywood legends. In case you didn't see it, it is archived on our YouTube channel. This was a very, very moving episode. There have been some guests that have been on our show who have since passed. Jill Jacobson, you may remember, was with us. The amazing Kreskin, the legendary amazing Kreskin, he passed away just a few months ago. These episodes with guests who've been with us are some of the final conversations and interviews that some of them have ever had. And they've become part of the historical records. We've actually had newspapers and major entertainment magazines and others quote us, promote us, or put us in their headlines. So-and-so made their final appearance on the Jim Masters Show series, or what have you, or they're taking on a new project, or just an amazing conversation on the Jim Masters Show series. And some of the other trade papers, industry newspapers and magazines have picked up on that, and they've posted it and shared it in their online and print work, which I think is amazing. So people bring it to me. Did you know that your show was mentioned on Hollywood Reporter and in Deadline and all these? I'm like, really? Wow, that's cool. Let's see it. So that's amazing, and just cool stuff. So yeah, that vibe that you got from this episode with Alison on our show is a lovely vibe, and we'll keep that train going. That stagecoach will keep going for all of you. I see a lot of people still here watching. I just love doing this. So wherever you are around the world, you be good to yourself. Come see us again, okay? We love having you here. It's always an honor and a pleasure. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Get on top of a mountain with a bullhorn and say, I love the Jim Masters Show. Tune in. That means the world to us. So for Jim Masters and company, thanks for being with us, folks. You guys love one another. Again, take care of one another. I said it before, but I'll say it again. And take care of yourself. And come see us again. The world's crazy out there. Come here at JMS. You're in safe hands. We'll always make you smile, always make you think, and we'll always have you in mind. To all those lovelies out there. All right, be well. We do love you guys from all around the world. We have all age groups watching from all across America, which is the home base for our show, our beautiful neighbors to the north in Canada, our friends in Mexico, and all throughout North America, South America. We hear from South America. We hear from Europe. Lots of Europe watches our series. We hear from all over France and Spain and the UK and Sweden and Finland and Ireland, of course, and Greece and Italy and everywhere. We hear from Asia and Australia, South Africa, Japan, New Zealand. Still waiting for somebody from Antarctica. I said that years ago. If somebody's watching with an antenna on top of an iceberg in Antarctica, do let us know. And cool stuff, really cool stuff to hear from all of you around the world. We get a lot of, comments when the show's not on. We get a lot of interaction from our viewers, and I read them all, and I appreciate them all. Feel free to post, your love on our YouTube channel underneath the episodes, and on our Facebook and X and Instagram pages at Jim Masters TV as well. All right, gang, that's a wrap. Nice little chat here with all of you, and hope you're doing well. Once again, Jim Masters, we love having you here. Alison Arngrim, a star here on the show. You're a star too. Be well, everybody. Take care. See you on the next one. We'll keep the porch light on for you as well. You and you and you and you. Here at what it says behind me, the Jim Masters Show. Be well. And cheers.